There's a place, a school, an institution where a professor resides. One that for the past 30 years has traveled the world teaching others. A pioneer in America of the fighting science of Savate. One who codified the sports of this fighting style. One who has produced clubs, champions, and continues to develop. Listen to words of Professor Buitron.
Hey guys, hope you guys are doing well. This is the first video for 2023. Brand new year, a bunch of stuff ahead of us. I want to wish everybody a great year with a lot of positive energy. There's a lot of things that we're going to be covering that we've been doing this for a while now. You know, we have a lot of content within our channel, and I want to thank everybody who's been subscribing because number one, we know that there's a lot of content out there, and you guys have picked us to watch. So many thanks. We're answering questions. That's basically what I'm doing now. You know, a lot of people send a lot of questions about martial arts, about self-defense, about issues concerning them in the community, and that's what we're going to try to tackle with some of the stuff here, alongside some Savate techniques, some Savate combinations for you guys to try at home, practice at home, enjoy the wonderful art of the French martial arts. But here on this segment, last week I got several emails and I had several conversations with not only students, folks, about the rise of street fights in convenience stores, corner stores, you know, corner gas stations, 7-Eleven, Maverick Markets, Valeros, all that stuff. What's going on with that? Well, I did a little research. Last year, the New York Times came out and it basically said that the rise of corner store assaults or fights or assaults has risen in the nation by a good percentage. Then you see the Daily News, CPS Daily News. They come out and they say that, and I'll put their stuff up there, and I'll show you some videos as well. They said that there's a rise, 1 to 3% on corner stores and 2% in gas stations. I thought they were one and the same, but I guess it's different. But if you put them all together, that's 5%. That's an alarming rate. Okay, if it's raised 5% when you go to put gas or buy, you know, a lot of people might say, no, it's not going to happen to me. Probably not, but the chances are there. You know, a lot of people say, what happens? What happens in corner stores, corner gas stations, stuff like that is a lot of them have become convenience stores. You know, they sell milk, they sell from anywhere from milk and eggs and stuff to, you know, a small eatery, but they also sell liquor. Okay, so what happens when you put liquor in the mix? Got a couple of folks that have already been drinking. You know, they say, you know what, I'm going to go buy a 6-pack. I'm going to go buy another case of beer, or let's just go have some fun. And guess what happens? You run into somebody that's sober, somebody that's maybe not having a good day. There's a lot of traction in those stores. There's a lot of in and out of different levels of society. Things are going to occur. And sure enough, you know, like you see in these videos, you know, it's not only men that get into these altercations. It's also women. You know, 2-3 years ago, everybody started posting memes. So that individual that hit another with the iced tea, and everybody would put memes on the iced tea everywhere else. You know, it's kind of funny, but it happens. You know, things like that occur. It's sad. You know, the other question was, what do you do about it? One, you have to prepare for it. One, you have to prepare for any type of altercation, especially where it's going to be at. You know, people say, well, you know, fights only occur in the bad side of town. Fights occur all over town. Doesn't matter. Okay. Self-defense, of course, it's number one is awareness. But if you're going to train in a martial art, train in a martial art that is geared for defending yourself in the street, that is positive for a street fight. Boxing, number one. You might say, I'm too old for boxing. Try Kempo, any of the Kempos, Gaju Kempo, Parker Kempo, um, something that's going to give you some feedback. Okay. Don't go to a martial art that's going to be geared for a sport, like for a sport oriented martial art. It's not going to give you what you want for that. Those martial arts are geared for sport. They're geared for tournament training. They're geared for combative training at the sport arena. Understand the difference, and also understand that assaults and fights are closer to home than what we think. Domestic violence is another one. It's up on the rise, and it happens everywhere. Every neighborhood, every block has that going on. Guarantee you, if you see your neighbor punching his wife or his kids, and you say something, there's going to be an altercation. It happens. Even though we don't want to get involved, things like that occur. So be careful, folks. Be careful where you go. Always be aware. That's the only thing I could say. Awareness is a key, and it's a key for surviving a street altercation. Really, you have to be aware of your surroundings. Now, if you're going to a bar, you're going to a nightclub, the chances are it's going to escalate a little bit more. Your chances are you might, it just depends on who you are, and somebody might bump into you and might say, hey, excuse me, the person turns around and socks you in the face. Things like that occur. You have to realize that. So how are you going to prepare for that? Let me tell you something that I told one of my students last week, because he says, well, how can we prepare for this? And how can we prepare for that? If you stop training martial arts, you've been training in martial arts and you trained it for 5 years, and you did it from the age of 24 to 29, you stopped at the age of 30, you're 55 years old now, you've never hit the ring again. Do you think you're able to do those techniques and those moves that you did then? No, not going to. It's not going to happen. Unless you train for a very, very long time, you'll have those skills inside within muscle memory. 5 years, it's okay. 10 years inside, it's a little bit better. 15 years inside, it's a little bit better. 20 years inside, it's a little bit better. But that muscle memory is inside you. Now, which is the best martial art for the street? Every martial art is good. It's supposed to defend you. It's supposed to help you in a self-defense situation. But there's some that are better than others. Go with the ones that not the fads. Go with the ones that have been proven in time. What do I mean by proven in time? Boxing's been around since 1800. Number one. Boxe Française, Savate, been around since 1800. Capoeira for the street has been around since the early 1900s. Karate, 19, I would say 1930, and Judo, 1940, this way. Kempo, from the 50s, this way. So you got arts that have been around for decades now, some for centuries. Try to find out which ones they are. You also have a lot of fads. A lot of people right now, the internet's crazy. Everybody can pick up a video and watch and mimic and go to class and try to mimic what you did. Are they going to pass it off as just depends on the person? It's all about experience. There's schools out there that have been around for 3 decades. The one you see behind you has been around for a while. You have to look at schools that have been ongoing for that period of time. Those are proven schools. I'm not trying to raise my collar, but if you go to a martial arts school the instructor opens up in this town for 2 years and then moves and goes somewhere else. There's something there. Understand? Martial art that's only been around for 3, 4, 5 years, or it's the specialty of a such person. That's it. It makes you wonder. Understand? Um, a lot of these tactics that are out there, those are or methods before they were called methods. Methods was a little bit different. You had a system or style, and then you had that professor that was teaching what was off that system, that what he thought was the best way to do things. Those were methods. Okay, you don't see methods anymore. What you have now is people put the word tactical in front or combat in front. Those are the words that when I hear that, when I see that, I kind of shy away from it. Okay, whatever. Understand? But when you look at something and you live in a town and there's Shorin Karate, that's a proven style. Go in there and train over the basics. Tell the instructor, ask them, have you ever used this in the street? If the instructor says no, then question it. If you go to a Taekwondo school or a kick punch school, karate kick punch school, and you're bringing in your child and you want them to do a team sport, and those are always going to tournaments, ask them, you go to tournaments? And they say yes, then that's a school that you should put your child into. Are they proven? Just like a boxing gym. Everybody teaches boxing, remember that. Everybody's father, everybody's uncle, everybody's brother, everybody learned boxing somewhere along the line. But there's boxing clubs. What is a percentage of fighters do they take to whether it's amateur or pro, and they're winning? You might have a boxing stable, but if every fighter that you take to the ring loses, that a good school or not? Pay attention. Pay attention to those little things in there. Look, search, research when you're going to do martial arts. Why? Because your life depends on it. That's what this was all about. Convenience store, corner store assaults are rising up. I think with what we're going through in this country, I think we're going to end up with more. There's a lot of people that are not looking at the unemployment rate. A lot of people do not have jobs right now. Well, what do you think is going to happen? Okay. On a better note, you all stay positive. Much love from Buitron Academy to you all. You all stay clear-minded, train, because whatever altercation happens, if you ever have to use it, the training that you have, that's all it's going to be there. If you don't train at all, don't expect it to come down through a video on YouTube. You have to literally get on the mat and train. Get somebody that knows and teaches you. Other than that, you all stay safe. Be safe. Keep sending those questions. Buitron Academy 2012 at gmail.com. Send me any question you want when it's concerning whether it's Savate, whether it's self-defense, because this was a good question. You made me do a little bit of research on it. There's a couple of others that are coming up, and we will tackle those as well later on. Bye.